Well, good afternoon, YouTube. This is Chuck, and as you can see, I'm coming to you from inside my trailer today, and we're back home now. We got home a couple days ago, and I'm in the process of cleaning this place up and getting it ready to go on the next trip. But in the process of doing all this, I got to thinking about some of the modifications I've made. Now, everybody that has a RV of some kind always makes modifications to them. We call them mods. And now I bought this trailer new 8 years ago, and I've towed it with two different trucks, and it's been all over the western states, all the way, the 11 western states, all the way up close to the Canadian border, all the way down close to the Mexican border, all the way over to the Pacific Ocean, and east as far as the Rocky Mountains. But I've made quite a few mods to it, and I thought today I would tell you my 5 favorite interior mods that have changed the livability of this thing, and something that we use every single day. And so let me get started with that. And to start that, I'm going to go in here into the bedroom. I'm getting ready to strip that bed, so you can tell it hadn't been made yet. But and when we got this trailer, it came with what they called an RV Queen mattress. An RV Queen mattress is 60 inches wide and 74 inches long. Well, I'm 6 foot tall, which is 72 inches long, and that sounds like that ought to work okay. Well, in short, it didn't. And the reason why, let me see if I can show you on camera. It's kind of hard to show you. But the reason why is the front cap of the trailer actually leans back this way. It's slanted, which means that the head of the bed's kind of in a hole down there. And you can see it's got that little padded headboard thing. But you lose a couple inches of mattress on the very front of that. And then by the time you put a pillow in there, and your head's down about here, you lose about 6 inches on that. Well, what that meant to me, put my old lanky frame on there, is my feet were hanging over the end right there. Originally, we didn't realize that was going to be an issue, but it turned out to be one. So in order to fix that, we went ahead and went to a standard queen mattress, which is 60 inches wide by 80 inches long. But in order to accommodate that, the little bed platform underneath the mattress right here had to be extended. And it lifts up. I can't do it and hold the camera, but it lifts up and there's storage under there. So what I did is I replaced the lid part of it with a longer piece that's 6 inches longer to support the added length of that bed. Now, sleep is pretty important. We spend about a third of our lives in bed. And so getting a good sleep system where it's comfortable is pretty darned important. And that's probably the number one most important modification I actually made. Now, it does cut in a little bit to the aisleway here, but it's not enough. We can still get around the bed okay. So that's probably the single most important bed modification I made, and that's something I use every single day. So let's go number 2, and I'm going to swing around this way. You guys catch the pun there? Go number 2. And that is we changed out the toilet. Now, the one that it came with, it was a ceramic toilet, but it was the standard length, if you will, and it was a low one. And quite frankly, as big as I am, it was like trying to poop in a bucket. I hated that. So what we did is we went ahead and we swapped that out, and we went to the taller model with the elongated seat, which is a whole lot more comfortable for somebody like me and the wife as well. So, and obviously we use that every day as well. And so that was probably the number 2 most important modification we made. And it only took about 20 minutes to change it. And it wasn't really all that expensive even to do it. But it sure made a difference in using the facility. So that was probably number 2 most important. Once more, I got that silly pun in there. So now let's come over here to the kitchen. Now, this, as RVs go, this one has pretty good counter space. But what it didn't have is it did not have that counter extension. And that counter extension makes all the difference in the world. And the newer models of this trailer actually come with one. But ours didn't come with one. And the newer ones actually, let me fold that up. The newer ones actually, it's mounted lower. So it's actually a step down on the new ones, and we wanted to make this as close to the same height as possible, and I measured it about 10 times, and I still got it just a little bit off. but it's not bad. It works okay. Now that might seem like a straightforward modification to do, but one of the problems that you have is the end of that counter right there is only 1/8 inch paneling. So there's not a whole lot of strength there. So in order to put that up there and mount it the way I did, I had to beef that up. And what I did is I went on the back side of it, inside this cabinet right here, and let me move this stuff, right in behind here, and I beefed that whole thing up with a 1/2 inch plywood. So now instead of having 1/8 of an inch of paneling supporting all that, it's got 5/8 of an inch. And what I did is I put it on there with construction adhesive and screws, and it's not going anywhere. We can leave, as you can see, we can leave this out when we're set up, and we can have plenty of room to walk around the end of it, and it's not a problem at all. And when it's folded down, the slide actually comes in all the way up to right up against it. So that's probably the number 3, and of course we use that every day as well. So the next one I'm going to tell you about, I'm going to call a lighting enhancement. In order to, so I've got the lights on in the bedroom in there, but here I don't, in the main part of the trailer, I don't have the lights on. I'm going to come back here and turn them on and look at the difference. Okay, well that lights it up so you can see it better for the video. But if you look at these lights, these things are glary and they're bright, and it's just too much light for, unless you're really doing something in here. If you're just relaxing in the evening, these lights are just too bright. And so we wanted to do something that was a little bit less obtrusive. And so what we ended up doing is, you can see them here, but let me show you what they are. I'll turn this back off again. See the difference on that? See all those little fairy lights along the top there? We just got that from Amazon. And there's the battery pack for it right there. And we run one of them up all the way across here, above the kitchen, over above the walkway there. Then we put another one on the slide. The battery pack on that one's right there. And that one runs up the side, all the way across the top of the slide, and back down the other side. But one of the good things about those is it provides enough light in here to see in the evening without being obtrusive. And the other thing is they run off of 2 AA batteries. And that means if we're boondocking out in the hills someplace, we're not using up battery in order to have that lighting. So that's kind of a good thing. We added that, and that was real. We use those every single evening and every morning when I get up as well. We turn those on, gives us enough light to move around, but it's not the glary lights that the trailer came with. Another little lighting thing we did while we're talking lighting enhancements is we added that little lamp right there. Mounts to the wall, and that's actually a 110 volt lamp. It plugs in, and we can only use that when we're hooked up or if we have the generator running. But that provides enough light for us to read. As you can see, if I back up here a little bit, you can see it's right by our chairs, and gives us enough light that we can sit and read without having to have these big bright lights on. I'm going to turn it back on again so you can see what I'm talking about. See how bright it lights up in here? That's nice when you're trying to do something, but if you're relaxing, it's just too bright a light. So the final thing I'm going to talk about is what I call seating enhancements. Now this trailer came with what they call theater seating. And as you can notice, it's got a cup holder over there, a cup holder in the middle, and a cup holder on the other side. But one of the problems with that is those cup holders are not designed for a coffee cup. And so the wife wanted something that she could, a little table that went in between them. So what I did is I used one of those little cheap bamboo cutting boards, painted it, and then I took this part here out of the cup holder. It comes right out. And I took it over to Home Depot, and I looked for something that would fit in there. Just went up and down the aisles looking for something. You know what I found? And I've talked about this before, but it's been quite a while ago. What I found was that. You know what that is? That's a toilet flange. So using this little bamboo cutting board, which I painted, and I mounted this toilet flange to it because it's just exactly the right size. And what that gives us is that gives us a little table that fits right in between our chairs. It gives us a place to set our coffee cup in the morning. And that's pretty handy. Now for water or something, we can still use the other ones. And while we're talking seating enhancements, see these little pockets here? These didn't come with the trailer either. So you always need some place to put your remote controls and all that kind of stuff. So we found these things and ended up getting 2 of them, and they were actually quite a bit wider. So what I did is I set up a fence on my table saw and I cut them down to the current size. I mounted one there for me and one over there for my wife for all her wife paraphernalia. And those things have been absolutely great. So those would be my my 5 favorite modifications that I did that I use every single day. And of course, the number 1 would be the bed, number 2 would be the potty, number 3 would be the counter extension, number 4 would be the lighting modifications with the fairy lights, and number 5 would be the addition of the little table and the little pockets for the remote control and stuff for the seating enhancements, I guess we can call that. So just a little quick one, just to maybe give you some ideas and see how we fix things. I've got a whole bunch of other modifications I've done as well, but that'll take longer. So I think I'm going to wrap this one up now like I always do, and I'll just tell you to take care of each other and love each other. And yeah, when you got a trailer like this, you don't really go camping. You just go and living. You just live someplace else because you're living in your trailer. You don't have to consider yourself a camper, and your home is wherever you happen to be with. So if we're up on the mountain in the woods and we're living up there, and if we're down in an RV park somewhere, then we're living there. But we're just living out of the trailer. Do whatever we can to make it more efficient. And so let me flip you around here so I can find the button and find our little, by the way, that's a little magnetic board there that we can write stuff on. And until I see you again, I'll just say peace out.